Yo. Hey, what's Papa Chat? What's that word, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction video.
The gold is real.
Welcome back to another stream. Like, comment, sub, turn on post notifications, follow me on Twitch. And let's talk about it. David, the singer who did what he did to the young girl, might be possibly facing the death penalty by the title of his vid. That's what I'm getting. So let's talk about it, man. Let's figure it out.
Side into one of the most infamous.
My fault. I accidentally let it play. Come on, run it back. Come on, bro. Oh my God, I gotta buy premium. I can't lie. Gotta get premium back, cause fuck these ads. I can't lie.
The criminal story of David is one that has dominated mainstream headlines for almost a year now. It was almost impossible to not at least hear.
Cause what the fuck? I know it's too early to be pausing a vid, but it's like, bro, you got money, fame, success. What is this? What are you doing? Why?
A little about what had happened, starting out as a horrifying mystery when police found the dismembered body of Celeste Hernandez, and quickly becoming a disturbing case study into the depths of human depravity as more information about the alleged perpetrator, David, came to light. Even if you don't know any details about this case, you have probably heard this general information through cultural osmosis. Many don't know how crazy the story has gotten as it's developed these past months. So today, we're going to be covering the full timeline of the David files.
I ain't watched anything on it in a minute, so anything that we find out in this video is news to me as well, so let's, you know.
Starting from the night of the murder, and ending it with what we know in the present day. Quick disclaimer, this is one of the most disturbing topics I've ever covered, so viewer discretion is advised. With that being said, hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist, and today, we're looking into the David files. On the evening of September 8th, 2000.
That's the day before my birthday, fool. Insane.
25. David was in the middle of performing for a packed crowd while, at the exact same time, police officers in Los Angeles were being called to investigate a foul smell coming from an abandoned Tesla Model X that had been sitting in the heat for days. The vehicle had already been towed to an impound yard after neighbors complained about it being left outside for an unusually long period of time, and by the time officers finally searched it, the smell had become impossible to ignore. When they opened the front trunk, they found plastic bags containing dismembered human remains. The body had decomposed so severely that identification was difficult at first.
I think they said she was in there for like 6 or 7 months or something. Am I tweaking? Hold on, I might be tweaking.
But investigators were eventually able to determine that the victim was a teenage girl. She stood around 5'2" and weighed only 71 pounds. Considering how little remained and the state the body was found in, the condition shocked even experienced investigators. Before long, police identified the remains as belonging to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl who had been missing for roughly 17 months. Then came the detail that changed the entire case from a disturbing homicide into one of the most infamous internet crime stories in recent memory. The Tesla belonged to indie artist David. At a first glance, David seemed like the last person anyone would associate with a crime this horrific. He had no criminal history, came from a financially stable family, and built his reputation online as a quiet former Fortnite player who turned into a bedroom pop artist almost overnight. And here's the detail that really sticks with people. The day Celeste's body was found, David was on stage. While police in LA were pulling bags out of the trunk of his Tesla, he was at a venue in Minneapolis headlining a packed show on the Withered tour. And he wasn't some nervous wreck up there. By every account, he was having the time of his life, hyping up the crowd, even tossing Labubu dolls out into the audience, telling them not to fight over it, and that it wasn't the last thing he was going to throw out. He didn't mention a word of it. He went on and performed again the very next night. From the outside looking in, it looked like business as usual for a rising pop star. Nobody in that crowd had any idea what had been found just 2,000 miles away. But within hours of the discovery, people began digging through years of his music, deleted social media posts, Discord messages, archived live streams, interviews, and music videos. As more information surfaced, a horrifying narrative started forming. It began to look less like David had randomly become connected to a murder investigation, and more like he had spent years openly foreshadowing exactly what he was eventually accused of doing.
Tell Monday what you need. We're creating an agent and naming him Tony. Now let's give him context. I'm giving Tony access to the
While Celeste body was sitting in the trunk of that Tesla, David wasn't hiding. He was on stage. He was in the middle of his first big headline run with the Withered World Tour, named after his debut album, a record he'd described as a goodbye letter to himself. And the staging of that tour is something people really only went back and studied after the fact. Fans walking into the venue were greeted by a coffin. There was a funeral wreath, white roses lining the stage, a portrait of David wrapped up in gauze representing a tormented alter ego he called Itami, and a guest book where the crowd was invited to write letters to the dead. At the time, fans read it as a moody, on-brand horror aesthetic. After September, a lot of people couldn't unsee what it actually looked like. And for a while, officially, nothing happened to him. Police hadn't named a suspect, no charges had been filed, and David was technically still a free man with a career. But the walls started closing in fast. Within days of Celeste being identified, Crocs and Hollister pulled him from a campaign he had been the face of just days earlier. Then, the shows began disappearing. First Seattle, then San Francisco and LA, then the entire European leg. Every date from Norway to Poland was wiped out and replaced with a note blaming unforeseen circumstances. His label suspended promotion of the album, scrapped the deluxe release, and pulled the tour merch. And before long,
Bro, look at the fucking shirt. Look at the fucking shirt,
the deluxe release, and pulled the tour merch.
Is that not fucking weird? That's fucking weird, right?
And before long, he'd been quietly dropped altogether. The album rollout, the funeral tour, all of it just stopped, and David himself went almost completely silent and dropped off the grid. To understand how the situation escalated into murder, investigators and internet sleuths started tracing the timeline all the way back to 2021. In December 2021, he released one of his first songs online, and even from the very beginning, the themes in his music were unusually dark and strangely specific. His lyrics revolved around obsession, abandonment, jealousy, and strangely specific. His lyrics revolved around obsession, abandonment, jealousy, emotion.
It never makes me fall deep into jealousy because I can't help the thought of you with someone else. I know the truth.
Dependency, and violence towards romantic partners. The speaker in these songs constantly feared being
Can you tell me what's wrong, even though it's wrong? You know, I hit on your girl and I gotta bring you back home.
left behind, and reacted to rejection with rage. At first, nobody cared, because dark emotional lyrics are common in alternative music, especially among artists influenced by internet rap and emo scenes. But after Celeste's body was found, people started revisiting these songs with entirely different eyes. Lyrics that once sounded edgy
Guys, like I see right there, I think we both know who dies here. Too much on your mind, choose what you hope to find. But you can't leave the past behind. You're the only one that is here.
suddenly sounded disturbingly literal. One song included the line, "I think we both know who dies here." Another repeatedly referenced keeping someone from leaving. Others mentioned killing slowly, dying together, and becoming violent over betrayal. Then, there was one specific lyric that stood out above almost anything else. In a song released while Celeste was only 11 years old, David said, "Save your tears 7 years." 7 years later, Celeste would have turned 18. Investigators would later allege that David first met Celeste in early 2022 through Fortnite and Discord, when she was still a child and he was already close to adulthood. According to court records, detectives ultimately concluded that
So dude was already freaky man weirdo, like He was 17 years old. Freaky man, goofball, weirdo. What the fuck is going on?
First connected in
Like,
January
what,
of
bro?
2022. Around the same time, Celeste's Discord account was reportedly created, which would have made her around 11 years old. As
Why
David's
does an
music
11-year-old have
career
a
slowly
Discord
gained
account,
traction
though? I ain't
online,
gonna lie.
his relationship with Celeste allegedly became deeper and more controlling behind the scenes. Former friends and Discord users later described how David surrounded himself with extremely young fans and frequently interacted with underage girls in private servers. Multiple people who knew
Get exclusive Mortal Kombat 2 wallpapers for your
Just
PC.
don't
knew
understand,
him
bro.
during this period claimed his behavior towards minors was not exactly a secret. One former Fortnite teammate later said everyone in their gaming group knew about Celeste, and that David would casually joke about it whenever people brought her up. One of the biggest turning points in his career came with the release of Romantic Homicide, the song that launched him from being a niche internet artist into mainstream success. The music video showed David standing blindfolded among candles
my
near what
gosh.
appeared to be a dead girl, while imagery throughout the video implied a body being hidden away inside luggage. The
Oh my
video was
gosh.
uploaded on September 7th, Celeste's birthday. At the time,
Oh
fans
my
viewed all
gosh.
of this as stylized horror aesthetics, but in retrospect, it became one of the most heavily scrutinized parts of the entire case. People started noticing how often David's songs referenced killing women he loved, preserving relationships through death, and becoming enraged whenever a girl wanted independence or tried to leave him. As David became more successful, he also became more reckless. By 2023, he was openly bringing Celeste into live streams and online content. In some streams, she could be seen in the background while fans asked who she was. Whenever viewers pressed him too hard, David either deflected or became aggressive. At one point, after a live stream involving jokes about age and
Nigga. Like, I just don't get it, bro. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. Is anybody in the chat asking? Maybe in the Christian.
controversy, David panicked and repeatedly demanded moderators to delete everything immediately, yelling that all VODs needed to disappear.
Where's your media
I
train?
personally don't.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's
bye.
been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything.
Meanwhile, outside David's online communities, Celeste's family
Like-
was desperately
I feel a certain type of way. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I got a little girl. She only 3. She about to be 3. Nigga, I wish the fuck somebody would even breathe wrong in my daughter fucking direction. It's not a, like, alright, I'm cool, calm, collected any other time. It's not a lot of shit that's gonna make me just absolutely fucking crash and do some just egregious shit. And it's my fucking kids. I ain't playing about my fucking kids. I'm playing about my mama. I ain't playing about my brother, my sister, my daddy. I ain't playing about my girl. I ain't playing about my kids. I ain't playing about none of that shit. I will fuck somebody up. I'm not going. It's just, it is what it is.
trying to find her. In February,
Especially my fucking child. Like, they said she was missing for like fucking 18 months, 17 months or some shit like that. What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense, bro.
2024, relatives began posting
make no
missing person
fucking
alerts
sense.
online stating that 13-year-old
Doesn't make no sense at
Celeste
all.
had disappeared from Lake Elsinore, California. Her aunt and mother both posted publicly asking for help locating her. Police later discovered that one of the last people Celeste contacted before vanishing was David. When investigators reached out to him, he answered the phone and claimed he barely knew her, insisting he had only met her once and did not realize she was underage. That explanation immediately started falling apart. According to court documents,
Man, fuck
David
no.
also showed
Bro, you can look at that girl and tell she's a fucking child. It's not fucking rocket science. That's common sense, bro. She looked like a fucking child. She don't even look passable as a fucking 18-year-old, bro. She looked like she 14. Like, what the fuck?
Release a yearbook picture of Celeste during the interaction, something prosecutors later argued directly contradicted his claims about not knowing her age. Detectives reportedly visited his home for a welfare check, but were unable to gather enough evidence at the time to arrest him or remove Celeste from the situation. Only days later, Celeste returned home, but prosecutors now allege David continued almost immediately afterward. Court filings later claimed that after her parents confiscated her phone, David drove to Lake Elsinore and paid another middle school student around $1,000 to secretly provide Celeste with a replacement phone so they
Why is it so important that you had to sneak around and talk to this fucking little kid? You don't have people like hoes around you that's like of age that you can fuck with. That's what I don't be getting about these niggas. Like, it's just gotta be sickness. It just gotta be a sickness. I don't think it's a lonely thing. I don't think it's a I don't think it's just a fucking mental. It's a mental illness, bro. Like,
could
it's
continue
gotta be.
communicating. And despite all of this,
'Cause-
David
Sorry, I keep pausing shit, but like all the hoes you could get, all the women that you can hang out with and get down with, and you chasing around a fucking 12-year-old dude, and then you ended up killing her, bro. Like, what in the actual insane fuck?
career was exploding at the exact same time. Speaking of legal matters, you may be entitled to a potential recovery of a as few struggles harm the quizzed 1,000 main 25 he had become. With that being said, let's get right back into the video. By 2025, he had become a global artist with collaborations tied to Fortnite, mainstream television placements, and appearances with some of the largest streamers on the internet. Songs were appearing in major shows, and huge creators were collaborating with him. To most fans, he still looked like a shy, awkward musician who wrote emotional love songs. But beneath the surface, prosecutors say the relationship with Celeste was becoming increasingly volatile and dangerous. Court filings reportedly describe escalating arguments involving jealousy, infidelity, and Celeste becoming increasingly unhappy with the relationship. In one text message cited by prosecutors, Celeste allegedly told David, "All we do is have and hang out. Man, I want more than that for myself." Investigators interpreted the message as evidence that she had begun resisting the fantasy and control. Prosecutors claim David had spent years constructing around her. The prosecution argues that
fucking kid, bro.
I run
How
a
do you
podcast
even
solo. No
bring yourself to undress and do the fuck what the fuck you did with a child. Like, that shit is so overly fucking bogus. I just don't even understand, bro. Like, real shit, I just don't fucking understand.
escalated dramatically in April 2025, after Celeste allegedly threatened to expose their relationship publicly. According to investigators, this threat arrived at an especially dangerous moment for David, because his debut album and major endorsement opportunities were about to launch, meaning public exposure of an illegal relationship with a minor could potentially destroy both his career and financial future overnight. Prosecutors later cited this as evidence of financial motive connected to the murder charge. According to the timeline laid out by investigators, David allegedly sent an Uber to pick up Celeste from her family home on April 23, 2025. Records reportedly show she arrived at his residence around 10:10 p.m. Roughly 20 minutes later, David began sending text messages asking where she was, despite prosecutors alleging she had already arrived. Authorities believe those messages were staged in advance to create a false narrative suggesting Celeste never actually reached the property. From there, investigators claim David stabbed Celeste multiple times, including wounds to the chest and abdomen that later caused fatal blood loss. Authorities further allege that after committing the crime, David drove to Santa Barbara to dispose of evidence before purchasing supplies used to dismember the body. Those purchases included chainsaws, a shovel, heavy-duty bags, a body bag, and a blue and
So not only is you fucking... So this is the thing about motherfuckers who just commit crimes for fucking no reason at all. They're not fucking smart. You fucking idiot. You did what you did. kept your phone and made it, you know, provided them with substantial evidence that she was already deceased when you were doing what the fuck you were doing. You went and bought all this shit, and then they talk about they finding body bags. Oh yeah, it's right there actually. I'm fried. My fault. I read over that. Fucking body bag, heavy duty, whatever the fuck, everything. You bought all this shit.
Inflatable pool, supposedly
On camera.
intended to contain
Did all
blood,
this shit on
while
camera.
dismemberment occurred inside his garage. Ironically, prosecutors argue that the very method David allegedly used to avoid leaving evidence instead created enormous amounts of forensic evidence.
You chopped her fucking body up, dog. What the fuck? This made me feel a little sick. Like, what is wrong with these motherfuckers?
According to investigators, using chainsaws caused blood and biological material to spread widely throughout the garage, while also shredding the inflatable pool itself. Small blue plastic fragments consistent with the destroyed pool were reportedly later recovered alongside Celeste's remains. Even worse for the defense, authorities allegedly discovered the
I didn't know none of this information. Them finding the pool remains, her remains, whatever the fuck, this, that, and the third. I didn't know some of this evidence. That's fucking crazy.
damaged pool still sitting at the property months later when police searched the recovered the damaged remains. Even worse for the defense, authorities allegedly discovered the damaged pool still sitting at the property months later when police searched the residence after the body was found. The sheer carelessness investigators described throughout the entire alleged cleanup has led many observers to speculate about David's mental state during the crime and aftermath. Prosecutors claim he never properly disposed of the remains, never thoroughly cleaned the garage, never removed crucial forensic evidence, and continued driving the Tesla while the body remained stored inside the vehicle's front trunk, alongside air fresheners meant to mask the decomposition.
Whoa. So she was just in there. You're driving around LA doing fucking running errands and shit with a fucking body in the front trunk of your Tesla.
Odors. He eventually abandoned the vehicle entirely rather than destroying it. Even more bizarrely, court filings reportedly state that David retained possession of numerous incriminating digital files.
I didn't know
Investigators
I didn't know that. That is fucking crazy.
allegedly recovered
Oh my
explicit
gosh.
images and videos involving Celeste from iCloud storage and other devices, including content prosecutors claim depicts sexual activity when she was only 13 years old. Authorities reportedly seized approximately 40 terabytes of data connected to the investigation. Whether all of that material exclusively involved Celeste or included other victims has not yet been fully clarified publicly. The autopsy findings only intensified the public horror surrounding the case. Medical examiners reportedly concluded that Celeste died from stab wounds causing catastrophic blood loss. Her remains showed evidence of dismemberment, and 2 fingers were missing entirely, her left ring finger and her pinky. Internet users quickly linked that detail to a tattoo bearing David's name on her ring finger, leading prosecutors to suggest he intentionally removed identifying features connected to himself. She also had a matching tattoo on her right index finger saying "shh" that matches with the one David has. Toxicology results added another layer of disturbing speculation. While many substances tested negative, preliminary screens reportedly turned presumptive positives for MDMA, methamphetamine, and benzodiazepines. Experts
Bro, you bro. This nigga is like the ultimate evil piece of shit, garbage ass. Like, he is worth less than like wet dog shit after it rains. I just don't understand what the fuck make a motherfucker do some shit like this. First of all, you shouldn't have been fucking with the little girl in the first place. That's first and foremost. None of this shit would have happened. Dumbass. What the fuck is wrong with this goofy bitch? Like, I don't get it.
Cautioned that decomposition can complicate
get it, bro.
toxicology interpretation significantly, especially
He was
because
doing drugs,
post-mortem
right?
fermentation can naturally produce ethanol inside the body. Still, some observers speculated that Celeste may have been drugged before the
This is so
attack,
fucked up
though
to
no
see. It's like,
definitive
bro,
public conclusion
She fucked with you, gang. She trusted you, gang. She looked up to you to some extent and, like, fucked with you heavy. Not only did you violate because she is a fucking child, you took advantage of her took advantage of that, but you took advantage of, like, her trust and shit, and you just are, like, just fucking despicable, dog. What the fuck?
has yet confirmed that theory. As prosecutors continued building their case, investigators also began examining the role of people surrounding David. Private investigators publicly suggested he believed someone may have assisted with moving or dismembering the body, arguing that it would have been extremely difficult for one person to handle alone. He also alleged that some individuals close to David may have received money in exchange for silence or cooperation, though those claims remain unproven publicly at this stage. Meanwhile, additional scrutiny fell on David's management team and professional associates after reports emerged that warnings about his relationship with Celeste had allegedly been sent directly to people working around him. According to private investigators,
May her soul rest in peace. I feel so sorry for her and her people, bro. I, like, genuinely, that shit is so fucked up. What the fuck? What's wrong with these? Bro, you're famous. You got money. Go get some bitches. Get some bitches. Even if you want to, like, now, I don't condone it, and it's morally wrong, but, like, even if you want him, like, he was, what, 20-something years old? He could fuck with 18, 19-year-olds. That's legal, gang. That's legal. That's not illegal, dude. And you don't gotta kill bitches. Like, I just don't understand, bro. I made her soul rest in peace.
an
It's
email
fucked.
warning
So
management
fucked.
that David might be connected to a missing 13-year-old was forwarded internally,
Insane.
rather than immediately reported to law enforcement. Although simply receiving an email does not prove criminal knowledge, critics argue it demonstrates how many opportunities existed for someone to intervene before the situation
Too cool. Word. Okay, listen, gang, listen, bro. If my brother came home with a 14-year-old tomorrow, I'll beat the fuck out, like, on GTARP. Squabbles immediately. If somebody I knew came around me with a bitch that's not supposed to be around us, fades on GTRP. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? This not the lame shit we got going on. And, like, I seen
escalated.
motherfuckers do a lot of lame shit. Nigga, I done some lame shit before in life. Nigga, it be like that sometimes, nigga. But I ain't never fucked with no kids. I don't know any niggas that ever fucked with no kids. And we need to keep it that way. A motherfucker come around me fucking with kids is phase in GTRP.
Into murder. There is one
What
last
do you
strange
like?
footnote to all of this. After the raid,
fuck?
David broke his lease and cleared out of that Hollywood Hills home, the same house where prosecutors say Celeste spent time before she died, and where investigators searched the garage. Crews were photographed hauling everything out, and then, earlier this year, right around the time he was finally arrested, the house quietly went back up for rent. A fully furnished Hollywood Hills home with a private pool around 4,000 square feet, listed at just under $24,000 a month, and marketed as
23 bands a month, dog. You're making enough money to live in a crib that costs you $20,000 a month to live in, and you doing goofy shit like this. I live in a spot where I'm 20 bands a month. If I'm able to move into a spot where I'm able to pay 20 bands a month, me and my girl gonna be naked smoking joints, eating tacos and shit. Music on. Doing nasty shit. Like, what the fuck? What is going on, bro? You could have did anything else other than what the fuck you did. That's what I like. If motherfuckers could do anything else than what the fuck they do.
A peaceful luxury escape. Whoever signs that lease next probably has no idea what's alleged to have happened in that garage. Ultimately, this case with David seems pretty cut and dry when all the details are laid out. David had exhibited
Yeah, you
psychopathic
fucking
tendencies
suck.
and a fascination with gore even at a young age, and clearly had issues for his entire life. He somehow got away with allegedly year-old, all while being at the height of his fame. It almost seems that when he allegedly murdered Celeste, he wanted to be caught. As Tony Soprano calls it, he got cowboyitis.
People do that shit, they want to get caught.
Oh, I want to get caught.
Yeah, you want to get caught. I've seen it before. That's fucking cowboyitis.
Or wanting to be seen as tough, or however you want to say it, by other people. He seemingly left clues like the Riddler throughout his music video, and the fact he barely even disposed of the evidence that he allegedly left behind is proof that not only
Nah, see, I think he's a fucking idiot. He's stupid. He's slow. He's a fucking imbecile. He's fucking despicable. The nigga's slow. He didn't. I don't know, bro. He clearly didn't want to get caught because he didn't run, but he didn't turn himself in and say, hey, I did that shit. He fucking did what he did and tried to hide it. He didn't want to get caught. He's a fucking stupid fuck.
was he insane, but he was stupid too. David has officially been charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, including lying in wait, murder committed for financial gain, and murder of a witness to an investigation. He was also charged with lewd sex acts with a person under 4 years old, and the mutilation of a human body. Since being charged, he has pleaded not guilty, and is being represented by a Hollywood legal powerhouse, Blair Burke, the same attorney that Harvey Weinstein hired back in 2017. The case isn't over yet, but if I were a betting man, I would guess that he will most likely be spending the rest of his life in jail. He might even be facing the death penalty, although that is a slim chance. At the end of the day, even if prosecutors took a slightly long time to gather all the evidence, it was for a good reason, and they made as airtight of a case as possible to try and ensure that he won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a
shout out dog, bro. Shout out internet anarchist, bro. I'm fried. He's fucking fried. David is fried. He's fucking fried. He's fucking cooked. He's fucking baked potatoes, gang. That shit is over with. You feel what I'm saying? That shit is fucking over with. But look, y'all like, comment, sub, turn on post notice, man. Follow me on Twitch. Go fuck with me on Facebook too, bro. Do all that.